Good to have you back with us on Ed Schultz News and Commentary. Endorsements, they get a headline, they get conversation. And when a union endorses, you sit back and wonder, okay, is this what the rank and file wants, or is this what the leadership wants? And there's been a lot of conversation on the Democratic side, obviously, surrounding all of that. We're joined now by Larry Cohen, who is the former president of the Communication Workers of America and, of course, a surrogate for the Bernie Sanders campaign. And he's also the chair of the Democracy Initiative. Larry, good to have you back with us.
My pleasure.
700,000 workers across this country are represented by the Communication Workers of America. And there is an endorsement coming from them this morning. Tell us about it.
So CWA members have been voting the last 6 weeks online. They received a printed 4-pager with materials from every candidate at their homes. They've gotten 5 internet contacts where all they had to do was click to vote. And they voted for Bernie. It's a huge breakthrough. It's by far the largest online vote of any type for any organization. 6 weeks and no pressure or anything else. They're voting on their own. And they voted for Bernie. And so, we're quite excited on the Bernie side. I'm excited on the CWA side. As a lifer at CWA. But it's quite something in terms of what this shows about where working women and men are. This union is 40% is in right-to-work states. This union will be very active and will commit this morning to be active in Texas and Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, states where other unions have virtually no members. We have tens of thousands in those states, Iowa, Colorado, Minnesota, right through to the Philadelphia Convention. CWAers will be running for delegate. They will be active. They're set on joining Bernie in the political revolution and changing the Democratic Party.
How big of an endorsement is this? And I ask that in terms of the history of the CWA is that these boots get on the ground, the social networking is done, the door knocking is done. I mean, this has got to be a big boost to the Sanders campaign.
This is huge. And in 2007, this same vote, it was the first time we had that kind of internet voting, partially because of the internet. But and it was indecisive. There were 5 or 6 candidates at that time, and no endorsement followed. In this case, this is an early endorsement for the CWA because of the way the vote has gone, and it means we will have precinct captains in Iowa. We will have boot camps in every state. This is not a top-down endorsement at all. This is bottom-up, and people are fired up and ready to go to work.
This ought to get some network attention, I would think. And the survey that I was talking about that came out earlier this week, how little coverage Bernie Sanders has gotten on the networks, I don't know if that is going to change. But, the Democrats, the higher-ups have decided to hold their debate on a Saturday night, one of them. It's going to be on ABC. Saturday night is the worst night for television ratings. Now, the debate the other night with CNN was the 3rd highest rated ever, had 18 million viewers. And I realize that the side show is Donald Trump, and it's almost like a cut out of Saturday Night Live at times. And the astonishment that's produced on that stage about how hawkish they are and how they can't wait to war up everything across the world. The bottom line here is that this is not good for Bernie as I see it. I mean, it's great that the CWA is out there for Bernie. He needs a CWA, and there's no question about it that they will get the job done for him. But this plays right into Hillary's hands. A lousy night for a debate on a network on Saturday night, the worst night for television ratings. And take that with the limited amount of coverage that Bernie gets. Yet there's 2 million donors to his campaign. Who would have ever thought 6 months ago that the number would have gotten to that? Your response to all of that, Mr. Cohen?
Couldn't agree more. The Saturday night before Christmas, it follows the last Saturday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time debate. It's deliberate. We all know it. And this is why I say that CWAers are charged up to change the Democratic Party, to say to the corporate Democrats, you're going to be pushed to the background. We want a party that everybody is a part of, so we're not excluding you, but you're going to be pushed to the background. No more top-down deals. The American people need to be involved in these elections, or we don't win these elections. We need our own form of populism. We're not about to leave populism to the Donald Trumps of the world. I think that's the answer And the CWA members, again, this kind of cross-section, 5 industry groups, half men, half women, spread across the country, as are the postal workers who endorse and the nurses. I think you're going to continue to see, we will continue to see this groundswell across the country, whether it's in donations, where, as you said, just hit an all-time high for this time of year of 2 million donations, or whether it's in boots on the ground, men and women talking to their neighbors, discussing politics at work, and trying to create some sense that we can establish a 21st century democracy.
Well, I hope Senator Sanders says hello to David Muir and says, you know what, we haven't seen too much of one another. In fact, you've covered me less than anybody else, although there are 2 million people that have donated to my campaign. Maybe if you got those 2 million people to watch you, you'd be number one in nightly news. I mean, come on. I mean, it's unbelievable. Bernie gets an endorsement. It's on page 830 of the New York Times. What does a guy have to do to get attention? And smart voters around this country know what the issues are. They're gravitating to the man. There's no question about it. Larry Cohen, it is always great to visit. All the best, my friend. Have a great holiday.
My pleasure. Great day.
You bet.